Hello everybody, it's the Warhipster here, coming at you with a showcase video. Yes, we haven't done one of these before, but that's exactly what we're doing today. I'm showing you the entirety of my Blood Angels collection. I know a few of you have been asking me to do something like this for all of my models, and we will get around to doing more of these, but I thought I'd film this one because Leviathan is on its way. 10th edition is almost upon us. Yes, you can pre-order the box as of Saturday, so in a couple of days time. Today's Thursday at the time of filming and uploading, so in but 48 hours or so you will be able to pre-order your Leviathan box. And I felt like this was a good time for me to look back on the last 6 years of building a Space Marine force to contend with all other Space Marine forces. And as you know by the sheer volume of videos on them, they are the Blood Angels, the 9th, the sons of the Great Angel. They're my favourites. I absolutely adore them. I will not stick around on this subject for the moment because there's a whole bunch of me spewing my love for the Blood Angels coming up very shortly. But I thought I would show you everything at once, where we're at with the Leviathan box, about halfway-ish with the Space Marines, and just to kind of really enjoy my Warhammer 40,000 collection. And I really hope that the Blood Angels fare well in 10th, because they didn't fare so well in 9th, and they're my favourites. And I didn't want to use them at tournaments, at events, and just be picking up my favourite models constantly and losing every game with them. That's not fair on the legacy of the Blood Angels, because I am not a talented player of the game by any stretch of the imagination. So yes, I hope you enjoy this one, and if you do enjoy this one and you'd like to see more of these showcase type videos, for example, the Grand Army of Chaos, then do hit the subscribe button, like this video and comment below, and if you've got pictures, send them to me of your Blood Angels, of your collections. I'd love to see them. Let's get inspired for 10th, because it's nearly here and it's gonna be awesome. One hopes. I'm pretty certain it's gonna be awesome. Behold, my friends, for the Blood Angels have come. The Angels of Baal, the sons of the Great Angel, and the sons of the Blood are here. Yes, my entire painted Blood Angels collection, all in one place for the first time in quite a while. It's absolutely breathtaking to behold. And that's just me. I've painted all of these, but to see them all in one place like this absolutely takes my breath away. Lots of giggling was had whilst I was filming this. What do we have here? Many Blood Angels. We have some elements of the first company. As you can see on the screen before you, we have a couple of the new boys from Leviathan. We have some Blade Guard, Vanguard veterans, the Indomitus captain. All these fan favourites are in here. We have almost the entirety, and I think we're 5 heavy intercessors short of the 4th company Blood Angels, because we've got a Ballistus Dreadnought yet to paint up for this one, but he will go in there in place of the Leviathan, or in addition to the Leviathan. We have quite a large showing from the 10th company. We have an enormous amount of Death Company, and of course we have the Sanguinary Guard there in the middle as well. Only 8 of them. We have both sets of Dante, or versions of Dante I should say, the old one and the brand new one. Mephiston is in here as well somewhere. Astorath, Corbulo, Lamates, they're all here and ready for war. Arrayed for war, quite nicely, even if I do say so myself. This is roughly 10,000 points. Roughly. If you add on war gear and things like that. There's a couple of extra units that are sort of half done and are not quite ready to be here just yet. But once all of Leviathan is in there, and a couple of the extra ones, we will have our 10,000 points. Here is my captain of the 4th and his command cadre, Corbulo, as you can see, he's there. Sanguinor, I forgot to mention him, he is in here. Mephiston, there he is. We have a sanguinary priest with jump pack in the background. One of the Terminator captains, he's about to be replaced with the brand new one. And there's Mr. Primaris, captain from the Indomitus box as well. Not many Blade Guard. I do have another 18 of them to build and paint, but haven't got around to it, don't have the time. So as mentioned, we have pretty much the entire of the 4th company here. We have 6 battle line squads. We have 4 fire support squads. We have the Desolation Marines, the Eradicators, and 2 big blobs of aggressors. They felt very Blood Angels to me when they came out. And we have 2 big old blobs of Assault Intercessors as well. So they're your close support and fire support options. And here's the 10th. We have our Phobos Captain with his Eliminators and Scouts and Infiltrators. A Reaver Lieutenant, one of the best models they've ever made for the Space Marines. We have our Razorback, one of 2 tanks. 1 Outrider in the background because I've got 2 more to finish. I haven't done them yet. Brutalis, he features there quite heavily. And there's our Leviathan from the Horus Heresy, holding up the middle of the board. Our Gladiator, Reaper, I want to say, is what that's called. And here's our Intercessors. My Redemptor with the Sanguinary Guard wings, make him super Blood Angelsy. Pile of Death Company in the back there. And of course, here we are, the Golden Host, led by Dante himself. I'm really hoping we get some Primaris versions of them. That would be very nice. There's a stray hair on the Brutalis. Wonder where that's come from. This is absolutely fantastic. The Invicta Tactical Warsuit as well. He's hanging out here. And here we are, the Death Company in all their finery. The Death Company Chaplain, led as well by Lamartes, and Asterath is also here somewhere. I haven't done the bases on those Death Company Intercessors just yet. I will get around to it eventually. One of them was finished for the video that we did, but the other 4 were not quite done because I had other things to do, of course. Our Invicta is also baseless, but he will get a base eventually when I find the time. I actually built and painted him for a fun and fluff that didn't happen because of the old you know what, the pandemic. Anyway, our Librarian here, Dreadnought Librarian, which is one of the coolest Blood Angels models of all times, and even more Death Company. I have 15 with bolters and chainswords, so I was a little bit upset when they lost the ability to take the bolter and chainsword. But we have a bunch of them with chainswords and pistols and Inferno pistols, a couple of power fists, some thunder hammers, all of that good stuff. I actually have another 10 of these to build and paint to replace some of those bolt gun ones. Similarly for the Sanguinary Guard. Now I don't believe in having more than 25 of them, and I actually prefer the Death Company when it comes to the tabletop, but we have 8 of them here, as well as a captain just there with a thunder hammer and a storm shield. He was my Smash Captain in 8th edition. And there is Dante, of course, the brand new Dante. Now, when he's in amongst all of the models like this, he looks absolutely fantastic. However, when he's just with his Sanguinary Guard, because he is so big, he looks a bit too big, which is why I'm hoping we have some Primaris versions of the Sanguinary Guard on the way eventually. Or at least I'm really, really hoping. We have old Dante just there as well, before he crossed the Rubicon. There's a video for him as well, if you still have one and you wish to paint him, because of course I did him. There's our Eradicators as well, just poking in there. Again, I have another 6 of them to do to finish things off. The Sanguinor here at the heart of the Angels of Baal themselves. I love this model. Again, I do hope that we get a Primaris, or at least a new version of him, a super upgunned, almost Sanguinor, not Sanguinor, he is the Sanguinor, almost Sanguinius sized Sanguinor, because that would be lovely. The Blood Angels deserve a Primarch as well, even though ours died, sadly, in the greatest sacrifice in the history of the Imperium. But here he is. He's here. He's present. Of course he is. I love him. He's one of the best Primarch models that they make from Forge World. I'm also hoping that we get another one of him towards the end of the siege, once he's super powered up and also super broken down, having had to face all of the horrors of the siege, including his Primarch brothers, Carbanda, a Warlord Titan. Here is our command cadre, all up close. We have our lieutenants. That's the Amulius model. He came out a little while ago. We have our Tech Marine, and Brother Corbulo is here, as is the Imperial Space Marine, who celebrated, I want to say, the 30-year anniversary of Warhammer 40,000. something like that, maybe 35 years. Can't remember. It's a really cool model. We have Dominion Zephon, a Primaris Apothecary, a Primaris Ancient. Dominion Zephon is such a cool character and such a cool model as well, with his bionic hands and feet. Really big fan of him. We have our, can't remember his name, Lieutenant Tolmeron, I think is his name. And of course, as promised, here is Asterath the Grim, a Judiciar and a Primaris Chaplain as well. These guys all invariably in some way, shape or form lead my 4th Company Blood Angels. There is our Terminator Librarian from Leviathan. His base is nearly finished, just need to finish him. We're going to show off the 4th Company now. I think that's what I'm doing there. There's our Aggressors, our Assault Intercessors, with my, what was going to be a stand-in for a Company Champion, the Power Fist, but the Champion can only take a sword, so he ended up becoming a Sergeant. Could be used as a Lieutenant, I suppose. We have more Assault Intercessors here. I've just absolutely loved them. They're so Blood Angels. They're great, and they look striking with their yellow helmets. I'm really, really pleased with them. Our Heavy Intercessors as part of Strike Force Augustus. I need 5 more of them to make a big blob of 10. Now we have some of the old Stern Guard as well. And because we've got the new ones, I'm actually going to downgrade these to Tactical Marines because they look amazing. But I do have another sort of 20 or 30 Tactical Marines to build and paint, so I'll be interspersing them around that. So we've got some kind of veterans in the squads. There's my Redemptor Dreadnought and all this kind of stuff. It's hard to know what to say when you're beholding your own collection like this. And really it's just a show-off to see what you guys think, and also just kind of be proud of my Warhammer collection, because these guys haven't seen much action in 9th edition. They sadly were not very good for a while, and then Armour of Contempt came along, but I was fully into demons, and we'll do another one of these videos if you like this one for the Grand Army of Chaos, because of course that's the thing I was working on most of last year. But the Blood Angels are my first love, really, for Space Marines and Warhammer 40,000. I had other Warhammer 40,000 armies before, but the Blood Angels really are where I fell in love with the lore of Warhammer 40,000 and the Space Marines and all that good stuff. I mean, just the tale of Sanguinius himself, and just the very nature of the Blood Angels, in that they are and look as perfect as they do, but at their heart is the black rage and the red thirst, and they do their best to kind of hold on to that in face of all of the trials and tribulations that they face, and the persecution and the kind of prying eyes into the secrets of the chapter. And they are kind of the most heroic, I think, of the Space Marines, particularly when it comes to Sanguinius, with the noble self-sacrifice, the power of foresight, and despite the power of foresight, knowing what would happen to him, he went anyway. He did what he did anyway because it was his duty, and he knew that he had to. He didn't kind of just capitulate, or his courage didn't fail him. He continued on in spite of foreknowledge of his own death, which is absolutely amazing. And the Blood Angels themselves inspire that to this day. They continue to take to the field of battle, despite knowing that at their heart they have the black rage within all of them, that eventually one day they will lose their minds and be cast back to that fateful time on the Vengeful Spirit when their father was viciously murdered by a man without a statue. But I adore them for their background. I adore them for their heroic bearing, and I think red is one of my favourite colours, so it was absolutely a match made in heaven to do my Blood Angels. And I have some somewhere in a box from when I was 12, 13. They're terribly painted, of course they are, but they are preserved. I'll never redo them because it shows just how far I've come for me as a hobbyist. But even within this army, there's so many things here where just the progression over the last 6 years of doing these, because I really kind of dived in 8th with my Blood Angels, just kind of massively expanding them and doing what I wanted with them for the first time with disposable income. But even looking at them now before me, just seeing how far I've come as a painter since my very first my Death Company chaplain. He was my first Blood Angel back in a long time. But even the difference in these dreadnoughts, I mean, this Redemptor, there's a video on how to do him, and I think he looks amazing, but he's a little darker than the Brutalis dreadnought, and I really like that Brutalis's tone. And that Gladiator, even next to this Redemptor, he's a little bit brighter, and these kind of older Vanguard veterans and things, they're slightly darker than the rest of the thing. They've got much more vibrancy there in the Terminators and the Stern Guard, and you can just see, like, this for me is like my timeline, my kind of tapestry on the tabletop of my own personal progression as a painter, but also just pure undiluted love of Warhammer 40,000. And I'm so excited for Leviathan and 10th, which obviously I've started painting, as you can tell by the Terminators and Stern Guard and the Terminator Librarian, but just to add these units to this growing army, and to add even more when we get more multi-part kits. I'm sure there are more going to be coming. To be able to add all of that under the eyes of the Great Angel himself just makes me so happy. This army, this collection, this is what Warhammer 40,000 is all about, and I just wanted to show it off, basically. Painter's Flex, I think is what it was called on my live stream. But here they all are. A lovely wide shot. And you know, it would be rude not to fill out this table. About half of this table is filled with Blood Angels. Obviously spaced out a little bit nicely for heroic poses, but I reckon we can add another 200 on here, because this is about 250 Space Marines, maybe just a few over. And obviously we have the Infernus Squad and the Ballistus Dreadnought and a couple more characters to add as well. But just over 250 Space Marines. The company equivalent of 2.5 companies. So just another 750 to go to get the entire chapter. But yeah, I want to add some more vehicles. That's something I feel like is missing. I've got a couple of Bile Predators that go with that Gladiator. And again, I just need to find the time to do them. But yeah, they're going to be the Assault Cannon ones to go with him. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one, and hope you love looking at this as much as I do, because, well, Blood Angels, they're the best in the world. If you enjoyed this video, you love the channel, and you'd like to support me further, you absolutely can do so. Head to patreon.com/Warhipster, just like these bosses have done, scrolling up on the screen before you, whose continued support helps me continue to make all the wonderful content that you enjoy. Alternatively, you could become a YouTube channel member by clicking on the join button on the channel page or just below this video, like these wonderful, amazing people have done. And if you really like this video and you just want to shoot me a little thanks, you can click on the thanks button just below this video. Don't forget to share it, like it, comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And to make sure you stay up to date, don't forget to click the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Happy wargaming.